This is an adult podcast, meaning we will be having explicit content on this show.
And things might make you a wee bit uncomfortable.
So listener discretion is advised.
And if you're of legal drinking age, then we recommend you grab yourself a glass of wine.
Or a beverage of your choice and enjoy the show.
How are you today?
I'm all right. How are you today?
I am good. Hello, everybody. This is Richmo.
And this is Lala. And what are we listening to? What are we doing here?
This is another episode of What Happened.
Oh my God.
I know it's a little slow. We'll get it down one of these days.
A podcast where we talk about just random shit that happened.
Well, for today's episode, I'm bringing a bottle of Portuguese wine because there's something going on in Portugal. We're dealing with somebody in Portugal, and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta have Portuguese wine. I was looking for an Albarino or something like that, and I couldn't find one.
Oh,
So,
Albarino.
but I got Albarino, but I got something else. It's called Neoport. I don't know. There you go. It's a white wine. It was a special. It wasn't the special, but it seemed like it was a good pick.
Okay.
So, how was your week so far? I mean, it's almost Friday.
Oh, dude, it just feels like now, like the week just flies by. I'm like, can I have like can I go on the slow lane for a minute?
Oh my stars.
But yeah, it's been crazy. Maybe because like I've had so much going on, and I always feel like I always have so much going on, and I'm just like, how do I do this to myself? But it's okay. Hopefully next week it'll be better.
Do you ever feel like sometimes
Anyway, today I didn't go with wine.
You went red?
I didn't go with the wine today. I don't know. I just didn't feel like wine today. I actually haven't had gin in a long time, and I really love Hendrick's gin. So Hendrick's, if you want to sponsor us, hi. So today I'm having just gin and tonic.
Well, G&T
Good old,
and
just very
Portuguese white wine.
But I feel like this gin is so like herbaceous, and it's just so like it feels fresh and refreshing. I don't know. I really love this gin. Like it's so good.
Yeah, it's got a really gin's got like this mineral-y thing, right? What is it? Juniper berries. What is it made from, gin?
Yeah, it's juniper. Yeah, and it has like a bunch of herbs and shit. Basically, what it is vodka with fucking herbs. Essentially, what gin is.
Vodka with herbs. If you don't have any gin, just put some herbs in it.
Yes,
and that
that equals. It could be like a little math equation, like vodka plus herbs equals gin. Hendrick's gin.
It could be. That's a nice little thing to do.
There was when I was based out of Juneau, there was this distillery that Juneau had their own like gin thing, and dude, their gin was so good. It was like kind of similar to this Hendrick's. It was so fucking delicious, and just like the cocktails that they made was like, wow. I was blown away with because prior to that, we like working on the boats in Alaska, I didn't really drink gin, but I had to like taste cocktails so that I can see what they taste like and and what flavors go with it, et cetera. So that's where I became like a gin drinker. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah, basically. It's because it was a yacht, so you have to do everything out of fresh herbs and fresh. So while you were learning, has to be made from scratch, like most of our
you got to distill your own spirits on the boat.
Well, no, we didn't distill our own. No, I'm talking about the liqueurs. We had to do like our own liqueurs. If we could, and had time for it. But no, they sent me to like bartending school online so that I was able to, do that and learn all kinds of shit from blah blah blah.
So you can make all these fancy like boat drinks. Like,
By
what
the
is the
way,
most
are you
common
able to
drink
see me?
people? Yeah, I can see you. You're being recorded, by the way.
Okay, just making sure.
Why do I sound like I'm a robot?
Well, no,
I'm
it's
not a
just
robot.
because
Are you getting
no,
unstable on
it's
your
just
side?
because my internet's so slow.
You think
Oh
you're doing
yeah,
this?
it says that my internet's totally unstable. So that's you're like super pixelated. You're like in a little tiny window because it doesn't have enough bandwidth for you to be
You can't
like.
tell what I'm doing right now? You don't know what I'm doing? Does it look weird? Or is it you're there?
Now, yeah, but like it went from like a big picture to like a smaller one, and it sounds like there's a
Uh,
lot of lag time because yeah.
I am just thinking about, you know, I was thinking about the last time we spoke. You had mentioned that somebody put a cross underneath your bed, or there was like some kind of crucifix of some sort, maybe a spiritual reinforcement of some of a kind. I don't know what you want to call it, but how long were you sleeping in that room that you're at before you realized that that was under your bed? And did it feel any different when you took it out?
No, so that's not what had happened. What had
That's not
happened
what had
was
happened.
when I hashtag what had happened. So what had happened was I moved into the room and it's an empty room. And the only thing in the walls was this cross made out of a palm, like palm tree leaves, like,
Hmm.
those crosses that you make. Yeah, so it was just like on the wall. So this is like my bed right here. And it was like on the wall, like where I have my my self-made dream catcher right now. That's where that cross was at. And when I saw it, I kind of it freaked me out a little bit because I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know who
It's a
put it here
cross.
or what its intentions are. So yeah, so it kind of freaked me out. And I was gonna like ask them about it, but like we all like all my roommates, so I have two roommates and we all have like conflicting schedules. So we like rarely see each other, which is great. But I was like, well, like hopefully they don't mind that I throw this, like hopefully they don't get offended that I'm throwing this away.
Hey, did you actually put it in a
So I
trash or
just
did
threw
you
it in the
put it
trash and I
somewhere?
was like, nope. And so
Oh,
no, I just put it in the trash, like in the trash bag in the kitchen. And what I did that night was I got my sage because I was like, well, if they're trying to ward off some shit, like I want to clean this thing, whatever residual was of that cross, because I don't know what that cross is. And even crosses you can put intentions to, like if you do Santeria and stuff like that. So,
yeah, you can
I'm like,
manifest the thought into the
I
cross.
don't know what the intentions. Yeah,
I don't.
because it's like es un dije, how what is it
Mhm.
called? A dije in English? Like anyway, so I, just saged the room. I opened the windows, saged it, and just said, that this is my room and that I'm protected in this room from whatever, and that I'm cleaning this room of any bad spirits that has any bad intentions or any bad people or anything, so that this is my like cave, like my little sanctuary cave. So,
Mm.
like when I was clearing this out, that's what I repeated. I went all around the room, and it's like a tiny room. It's literally the size of a closet. So, it didn't take long. And so I was afraid actually that the smoke alarm was going to go off, but then I realized that the smoke alarms don't work. So, there you go.
That's good. Now you know it works. I started to
It's fine.
just add some smoke and it went off. It was loud. Well, that's good. It's good. It's a
No,
good thing
it
that you're
didn't go
smoking
off.
memory.
That's how I realized
Uh,
it doesn't work.
Oh, it doesn't work.
That's why
Oh
it
my.
was chirping. Remember, you told me like, "Oh, you're the one who's chirping." Yeah, as I
Well, did
told
you? I
you,
thought you
you're the one
replaced the
that told me. You're like,
battery.
it's your fucking smoke detector.
Yeah. You didn't
Oh, no,
replace
I
the
just took
battery?
it out. I don't have this kind of battery,
Oh
so
my. Oh my star.
no,
Well,
I just
yeah.
took it out
That's
so it
yeah.
wouldn't
You
make the
got it. Yeah. Yeah. The chirping's supposed to
none
be
of the
yeah. Change the battery, not
fire.
like take it out forever. Um. Wait, so did you talk to your roommates about the cross? And did you actually explain to them that you saged the room and that you dumped it in the trash?
No, actually, I didn't for like months until just like this past Friday. One of my roommates is like, "Oh, hey, are you gonna be here Fridays? Because sometimes I leave for the weekends." And he was like, "Are you gonna be here?" And then I was like, "Yeah, I really don't feel like," because my friends like, "Oh, come over," but then I have to stay over at their house because they're like all the way out in Silver Lake, and that shit's far as fuck, which means I have to sleep at their house. It's just like I don't feel like it. You just want to come home. So anyway, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be home. Why? He was like, oh, because my cousin's birthday, and a bunch of us are gonna get together. Not a bunch, but it's just like, family and friends. And so, kind of have like a small party. And so that's where, by some weird mistake like this, it came up because I was talking to him that, I went and I started to walk around the blocks to get, to know the neighborhood and shit. And so, and I was like, yeah, there's some really weird, like around the corner, there is, where you buy um, like, what are they called? Like kind of like a curandero, how,
Oh, yeah, like a little santeria shop,
what are
where they sell
those?
candles and
What are,
scents and
yeah,
incense.
yes,
I forget what
yeah,
those. I know
mm-hmm,
what you're talking about. They got them all over the hood. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, but I know
yeah,
what you're talking about.
exactly, exactly.
It's
And I was just like,
like a
for
little
like
religious shop, but
it's a,
they got something for
yeah,
everybody.
but
You
it's
want
kind
a
of,
Catholic cross? We got a
but
Catholic
they
cross.
have like,
You want a Santa candle? Sure, we have those too, right?
yeah, but they also have like love potions. They have, luck potions. They have all kinds of. So anyway, I was just kind of like, wow, when I was walking through there, like by there, because I was taking one of their dogs out for a walk, and I was like, wow, they have a pretty high um, you know, like a lot of people coming in and out. Like for a curandera shop, I was just like, wow, that's a lot of people. Normally it's pretty empty. And so then my roommate's like, oh my God. So I have my suspicions on that place. And I was like, what the fuck you mean suspicious? He's like, well, I walked in there to get a cross for the house. And I was like, why? He was like, oh, because. And then he tells me when they first, his sister bought the house and they moved in here, um, the doors would like move and like the doorknobs, like somebody was trying to open it. And then he said that at 3 in the morning, every day, like he would wake up and then he would hear so you know how you can get ice from the refrigerator? Then it would just start like pouring ice out. So he would wake up and then immediately after it was just a bunch of ice that would pour out of this refrigerator. And it's a brand new refrigerator. Like his dad actually gave him this refrigerator when they moved in. So it's not like it was malfunctioning, it's a brand new refrigerator. And so he was having and then his little sister, I guess, was also living here. So his older sister, it's him, and then his little sister. And she started to feel like pressure. And he started to have sleep paralysis. And he's like, I have never had sleep. So it was just like all this crazy shit. But when it started to torture his little sister, he was like, oh, hell no. It told it like, no,
We got to do
like,
something. It's not
don't
just
bother my
me.
sister, bother me.
Oh my stars.
And so yeah, and so then what he did was, that's when he walked into that fucking curandera shop to try to get us a cross. But then his grandmother came and told him, no, 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 this is not even a Catholic cross, which at that point I didn't even know that there was a difference in crosses. I was like, okay. She was like, no. So what she did is she went to a priest, a Catholic priest, got a, cross from them, had it blessed with, and he had told me prior to all this, when they first moved in here, the only thing that was in the house in the bathroom, mirror was a bottle of holy water, and it said on there holy water.
Oh, so the prior
So
residents were like,
now,
"We're getting the fuck out of here." I don't know what's going on, but it sounds like you got like a little manifestation going on in that house. I mean, maybe it's gone already, but you haven't
well,
felt anything
like I
strange
said,
since you've been there, right?
I know nothing at all, and I have been ever since I moved in here, I feel like so calm and at peace. Like I feel really like just calm and at peace. So I was just like, what? Like, so he's telling me this fucking story, and I'm just like, what? Like, I didn't feel any of this, you know? So then, so he tells me then his grandmother comes and does this whole blessing thing. And then he said, and then it was gone. Like after that, it was gone. And so I was like, so he was like, but you know what I think it was? Because I guess the previous owner of this house was an old man and he died in this house. And I guess it's just
Maybe he's still hanging
him
around,
because
needed to be blessed out of
his
there, so to speak.
grandmother, well, no, his grandmother said that it's not like a malicious thing. It's just that maybe he was just like, like residuals of a person, like, oh, don't mess up my house or whatever. I don't know,
He's just taking
type
care of
thing.
it, kind of like
So
getting ice
yeah.
in the middle of the
But
night when
but
he's
then after
pouring
that
ice water.
he said no, right? So
Oh
I
no, he
mean,
just wants
I
water in
never
the middle of
felt
the night.
a
He wants cold
goddamn thing
water.
here.
Well, that's a good thing.
Exactly. I usually get up like at 3 in the morning because I have to pee and I have to drink water. So I'm like, oh,
And you use ice,
I
right?
don't know. I
Why
get
not?
really
A couple
thirsty in
ice
the
cubes.
night. Yeah. Well, I don't. I hate cold water. So I drink my water warm. But, you know, to each their own.
Yeah.
Everybody has their preference.
The ghost likes ice water.
So
You like
yeah,
warm
that's,
water. Wait, but
but it
what
was such a
when you
shocker
talked
for me
about
to, like,
the
we're
curandera
literally in
shop,
the
I
middle of
mean,
this party and we're literally in this middle of this party and then he's telling me the story and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of house did you make me move into? You
wait,
know?
the thing that gets me is that you were talking about the curandera shop, how it has a lot of traffic. Like, what's going on here? Why there's so many people going to that shop?
Oh,
Like, is there
okay.
more than enough, or is
So
it everybody just like into their thing?
so he told me he thinks that it's probably like, a place where people pick up drugs because the building's big, but the shop is really little, the part that you can access. But it also says Salvador. So Salvador is somebody who massages. Okay, so in like Latino
Masseuse.
community, you don't go to, yeah, you don't go to masseuse, you don't go to
You don't go to a chiropractor.
chiropractors. You go to a
If you got a
Salvador.
bad back, yeah, you go to
You
Salvador.
go to a Salvador and they literally just massage the area that is injured and they have certain ways of massaging it to you know do what they're whatever, and then they'll give you like a container that it's like a liquor container but it's mixed herbs. You can smell it and it's like mixed herbs. You don't know what the fuck it is, but it's a container and they're like, okay, rub this, da da da, and do this kind of movements, and that's what a Salvador is.
And you're like, why
So,
the fuck did I
I was
just
like,
pay you
well,
to do
maybe they
that
have.
for me? If you're making me do this for myself, I'm like, that's why I paid you to do it.
No, honestly, I have gone to Salvadores and it's worked, so I don't discredit
Have
it
you
at all.
have you had the cups?
But
I had
I
a
just thought
lady
that
give me a
this got
massage, and then she put cups on me, and she lit the suction cups. Have you ever done that?
no.
No. Yeah, they did that on my back. Really fun.
But yeah, so what his thing was, and he said the reason why he thinks that it's like a hub for picking up drugs is because he knew someone that had posted. It was a coworker of his. And he was like, he puts windows in big buildings, like in the downtown buildings. Like he's like in the
Hmm.
sky high, fucking way at the top, installing windows and shit. I'm like, look. And anyway, he said one of his coworkers, he was a cool guy, whatever. And then, he just started becoming weird, and then he quit the job, and then he started posting on his Instagram that he was like at a curandera shop, because they sell like incense and little crosses and santos, like
Hmm.
what saints, like they sell like different types of saints, like
Money
Catholic
saints, good luck
saints.
saints. Yeah, any
Yeah,
saint you want. They
exactly.
got it.
And and a lot of that it's like Santeria. I don't know if you guys out there know what Santeria is, but it's like a mixture of what the African
Voodoo.
religion used to be, voodoo, yes, with a Catholic. So they what they did was combine it in the Caribbean islands and parts of Brazil and like all along that area. So anyway, he started to post these pictures and and he became a drug dealer. So he was like, maybe this place, is like a
He
drug dealing
became a
shop.
drug dealer.
Yeah, but he would say, come pick up your da 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 da, and he would post pictures of like he was like at a curandero shop. So then he was like, maybe
Wow.
curandero shops are like the front business of like
Whatever else
where
they're
you
doing
pick
in
up
there, who knows?
where you pick up your drugs from.
Hmm. Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
So like it
Well,
was
just be
quite
careful.
the
You never know.
conversation. It was quite the conversation to have in the middle of a party. And like there's like all these dudes and I like one of the homies that I haven't seen in a long time. And I was like, oh shit. But like, you switch around from person to person and talk to different people. And we're taking tequila shots and we're having like. But it was just crazy to find out that the house that I just moved into was probably
Haunted.
there was a ghost. Yeah, haunted.
I don't know. I mean, it's funny enough. I was talking to somebody, and I was just like, if you were to turn into a ghost, like, would you want to be a ghost? Would you want to haunt people, or would you want like, would you want to stick around? And I was like, no, I wouldn't want to stick around. But somebody said, no, I want to haunt somebody. There are a couple of people I want to haunt and like fuck with them. I'm like, really? I go, well, what if you had to be around even after they were gone? Would you still want to be around? And I'm like, yeah, like stick around haunting people. Like,
Hell no. I
I
mean,
was like,
if I was murdered, and then I would want to haunt my murderer. But like aside from that, like why the fuck would I
yeah,
want to
why
be
the?
here? Like my time's over, bro. Time to
That's
move
it.
on
I'm
to
ready.
bigger,
I'm
better
trying to,
things.
yeah, whatever it is out there in the world, in the
No,
universe, that's what
no
I want to
looking
do.
back, looking forward. New me coming up.
That's right. Light as a feather. I'm just like light. I'm a
Stiff
spirit.
as a four, stiff as a board. What is this? The
What was
craft.
that?
Light as a feather,
I,
stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's how you turn when you're a spirit. You kind of just fly through the air, right? You're not anything. You're just a spirit. And
So, would
spirits,
you would you want to haunt somebody?
no, I would not want to haunt anybody. I mean, even if I was mad, I would be like, you know what? I'm at, they'll get theirs, because I believe in karma and good energy, bad energy, or, everything what goes around comes around. You'll get your time. It'll come back to you. So I kind of want to live
Everybody
by
gets
that.
their turn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
No, I totally am with you on that. I'm like, I don't know if I
Otherwise, I'd be
like
angry every
I
day.
don't know. Yeah, dude, that's where you get the poltergeist.
You get that,
Or I
like,
don't know what a
I'm gonna
poltergeist
let it
is.
build up so I could
Is
be a
that an angry
poltergeist. I'm just
spirit?
yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
that's what a poltergeist is,
hold
right?
it
Like
in.
an angry spirit.
Yeah, let me ask that to Google. What is a poltergeist? Jeez,
I think
poltergeist.
so. But oh. Before I forget, I have an update on one of our previous episodes on what was it? The Chickenosaurus episode.
Yeah. What's the update?
So
What's going on?
I asked my best friend's boyfriend, who is a vegetarian, I was
Ah,
telling him about our episode and if how he would feel if, if he would eat this, lab
lab-grown
created
chicken.
meat. And he said he would. He said the reason why
Oh,
he stopped eating it meats is because he's just not okay with the whole industry. And so to him, it's more moral to eat this because it's not taking up resources and you're not, slaughtering animals that are some of them in mass production that some is going to waste and,
You're not
and then we
making
can't
anything
feed.
suffer in that respect.
Well, that also, but the mass quantities that we create of meat, a lot of it goes to waste. And he said, and it's sad that we can't send that to countries that are struggling to even have meat. And so for him, that is the reason why he had, stopped um eating meats. And so, but he said, yeah, no, I totally would. And then I brought up my concerns and he was like, yeah. So that is also one of his concerns because he's like a yeah. And
I'd
so
eat it,
we
but
had like
I wouldn't want to be a chicken 300 years down the line. I don't want my
no, but
kids to
he
be
said though
chickens. Yeah.
that would be one of his concerns as well because I asked, I said, yeah, but I said one of my concerns would be like if you fuck up the formula on how to make chicken,
I mean, it's not like they're gonna
kind
have
of
like,
kind of like
you know,
in Harry Potter, how when Wingardium Leviosa, and then he didn't say it right and
he
his
fucked it
feather
up.
caught on
Yeah.
fire. Yeah, he fucked that up because he just said it slightly different, just slightly different. And
I mean,
his
I'm
feather
just
caught
thinking
on
about the
fire.
what you got. I got like 1 ton of chicken. It's homebrew. I made it myself. I got the recipe from that biotech lab down the street. It's really good. I got 2 tons of it. How much you
Oh
want?
my God.
Side
Is it
to
gonna be
like
like hooch?
restaurants. It's like, yeah, it's a hoochie
Hooch
chicken. It's
chicken.
like the homebrewed chicken.
It's a hoochie chicken.
It's a hoochie chicken.
It
Uh,
takes a whole new minute for chicken head.
I mean, it's just like you never know. I mean, I'm sure that's gonna happen too, you know. I'm gonna try it. Hell, I'm gonna figure out how to make my own chicken. Everybody's doing. I'm gonna make my own chicken strain, you know? It's just
Oh
like
my
how it's science. It's only got to work a certain way. So who knows?
God. Hoochie chicken.
So your friend would eat the hoochie chicken. Hmm.
He really,
Yeah.
well, he said that, he would definitely be more inclined to eat it. But he also posted those concerns. Like, one of the concerns that I do have is, how, like, should get the formula right.
Get the
And
formula
I mean,
right. Will I grow three
maybe
arms? Will I
maybe
grow
one
a
of our
beak?
listeners knows how this works and they can explain to us how, lab grown meats works and maybe we're just going
Yeah,
about
no.
it the wrong way, but like
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
one of our
we're not.
listeners knows is a scientist, which we are not and know nothing
That's
about.
what we need
Maybe,
somebody in the lab growing chicken expertise. You grow like some
or just like,
biologist.
somebody who works with petri dishes growing some shit.
Oh, I can ask them. I know people
Maybe
who
they can
work in the
explain to
pharmaceutical
us.
industry. Yeah, so how is
Ooh.
this like how can you call that chicken? Really? It was never alive. It's like, you know, but it's got meat consistency.
But if it comes from a cell, you said that it's
Yeah.
like a some sort of
Yeah,
cell, and it's just
it stems like
duplicated.
a
Yeah, so I'm thinking it should be okay. However, so as DNA gets older, like your little DNA strands, at the end it starts to unravel, and that's why some people start to have dementia and stuff because your DNA at the ends it starts to unravel because you have like some sort of protein chingadera that puts it together. That
I
shit starts to fall apart, and then the actual like there's like
how
little
does that
letters and
affect
shit.
chickens? How does that affect
Well,
chickens?
I'm just saying if the fucking cell that they have starts to unravel because it's old, that bitch is old. You said it,
Oh,
eternal
like they're
chicken,
not
right?
like the
It's an eternal
the
chicken.
integrity of the original
I'm
cells. That's what
I'm
they talked about. They
I'm
did talk about
wildly
like
speculating. Like I said, I am not a scientist. So
I mean
I'm
that
just
the
making shit
website
up
did talk
in my
about that. They're like
mind.
this could work for a few years, maybe even decades from the same cells. I'm like, ooh, but what?
And
You're
when you
right. What if
said
the
that,
DNA does
like,
unravel? Like, what if it happens in
yeah,
three
so
years and they think it's five? And so
I
after like
mean,
the third year,
maybe
you're eating
if they
like,
can cryogenically freeze it, but like even that, like we are not that far advanced with cryogenics either. So I'm just, I just have
wait a second,
concerns. Just, so like
wait
if
a second.
somebody's listening that knows about this, it can clear this up because we are wildly speculating here.
I mean, I'm talking mad science here, but if they can create lab grown chicken, lab grown beef, or whatever they want to call any lab grown meat from stem cells, then why don't I mean, I'm sure they can grow like livers, hearts, kidneys, and things like that.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I mean that they should be
Yeah,
able to do that,
they're
but like,
definitely doing. I mean, I haven't followed up on where they're at. Like, we're like, okay, so show up to this lab. Like, okay, so where are you guys on creating this liver?
yeah, how's my liver doing? Because like I'm gonna need a new one, So I
Yeah,
just want to order it
I'm
ahead
like,
of time.
after
So by the
several of
time
these
I can pay,
drinks,
by the time I'm
I'm gonna
ready
need
to
some
pay for it, I want to
kidneys.
make sure it's ready for me. Oh my stars.
I'm like, you know
I you
what? In
know,
10 years,
but
I'm
the
gonna
stem
eat
cell
one.
thing is really crazy because I mean I know of folks who have had like neck injuries and have had stem cell therapy. Not here in the United States, mind you, because it's not allowed, but they have had stem cell therapy and it's worked. They're walking, they're moving,
Yeah.
they're not
No,
like
and from
incapacitated.
the
And I don't know the
yeah,
severity of what they were, but they were in a wheelchair and could like,
yeah, no.
quadriplegic basically, and they
I I
changed it. They
I
reversed all that.
agree. And I have read some articles, but like I'm very terrible at like repeating the shit that I read. Like I just have it stored in my mind, but I don't know how to like regurgitate and like say it. But anyway, I have read some stuff that where like it's like, whoa, stem cell research is really fucking great. Like it can do a lot of fucking things. So I am not against it. I not at all. Because some people say it's like, oh no, but it's like killing babies. And it's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. It's just cells, bro. But anyway, so yeah. So that was the update that I wanted to tell you. And there's another update.
Uh-oh.
So I didn't know that Richmo
Oh
sent
no.
me easy cheese in a
That's what
can.
it's called now. I think they don't call it cheese whiz anymore because too many people were probably calling it cheese jizz. They're like rebranding and like that's what it is.
Okay.
Wait, did you try
It
that shit?
says it says no, I wanted to wait to try it here.
Oh my. People, if
So
you have a
it says
cracker,
it's
put it on a
American.
cracker. Cheese product? Does
Whatever.
it say cheese product?
It says cheese snack. It says directions. For best results, remove cap.
Of course.
So don't not on the try to eat the can itself. Got it. Thank you. Hold up applicator tip close to food. Press tip firmly and move slowly across the food surface. So I do have to put it on something. I thought it
Well, I
would
mean,
work
it'd
just
be
like
like,
whipped cream.
well, no, it's like string, it's like a line of cheese, It's cheese, like string cheese, but
Do I
not
have to
string
shake
cheese.
it?
I don't know. I don't,
Excellent. Oh, it says it's an excellent source of calcium,
oh, well, if you need some calcium, do you
but
have
it
any
has no
crackers?
vitamin D. It has no vitamin D. So I cannot absorb the calcium because you cannot absorb calcium unless you have vitamin D. So it's okay.
So
No
it's
worries.
it's almost like a
I
false.
have my hands.
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna wait, how do you what do you just press on it like
Yeah,
whipped
just
cream?
press it. Yeah.
Press
No, the
down
tip.
or
Yeah, no, go like this. Press the tip. Yeah, like push it down.
oh shit. Ugh. Okay, there you go. There you go.
Are you gonna try it? That's not that bad, right?
Oh, it
It has
tastes
its
like,
place.
you know, it tastes like those cheeses that come in their individual plastics. What is that called?
The little cow things, the baby bells. Oh no,
The cheese
American
that comes.
cheese. Yeah, the American sliced cheese.
Okay, it's not terrible. I really, I
I
really,
figured it wouldn't be as bad.
I didn't know what to expect because I was imagining whipped cream. So I was thinking like how whipped
It's
cream's
gonna be foamy.
oily. Yeah, and I was like
It's gonna be sweet.
cheesy. And I was like, yes. And I just, and I know you told me no, but I didn't know what to imagine. So yeah, that's what I was kind of, I really, I heard our episode and I was like, oh my God, I really am very like adamant about this fucking
Yeah, that's why I was
cheese
like, well, I want to send it
product.
to you, see how you react. Well, see now,
Okay.
folks. Now she's not. She's like, oh, all right, string cheese, whipped cheese, whatever it is, easy
Yeah.
cheese,
So
cheese whiz,
so
whatever.
I just wanted to bring
So,
these two updates. You know, I wanted to update our listeners on my research post post
post
recording.
tasting. So maybe there is a Philadelphia cheesesteak sandwich in your life in the future. When they say you want
It's
it with
not
or without, you might have that cheesy stuff in there.
it's not terrible. It's not
Yeah, it's not
terrible.
terrible. That's what I said. I
It's
was
not
like,
terrible.
I
Oh,
don't know why you like
oh
disliked it
shit.
so much.
And it does say no need to refrigerate.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, I just had those two updates. I wanted to make sure that I didn't put you to sleep. Sorry.
I don't have any updates, folks. My updates are I'm still drinking. I got half a bottle left, and it's still going down. How
Oh,
about that? That's my update.
I
Salud.
just refilled my drinks. So cheers. Wait. Oh, it doesn't clink. Darn it. Okay. So our topic for today, like 40 minutes into our episode, we're talking about ghosts and if we believe in ghosts.
I believe in
If you
ghosts.
haven't
I mean,
already figured it out, since we've been talking about it first before even mentioning what our topic was about. So,
that's right. Yeah, I think the topic's about
but
some
I had
ghosts and things. Ghosts and things like
ghosts
anything
and
like
things, superstitious things, and um. So Richmo,
Lala.
we were having a conversation one night when pre our recording days, which is another reason why I wanted to record these conversations. And he told me that he can see ghosts.
Well, when
I
I
hate to
was a
put you on the
kid,
spot, but not
yeah,
really. So
when
so
I
tell
was
us all
when I
about
was
so tell us all
when I was
about
a
it.
child, when I was a child, I don't know if you would
A
call
little
them
morrito.
night terrors or whatever you want to call it. When I was a child, I would see things. Call me crazy.
How
Maybe
old
I
were
was
you?
hallucinating. Oh, as young as I can remember. I remember this throughout my whole childhood to even one,
What's the
two, three,
furthest you can
four, five,
remember?
maybe
Oh,
being a toddler, being like
oh
two, three
shit.
years old.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I remember like
Okay.
seeing things, chasing after people, thinking it was my mom. I mean, I was just like bananas. But maybe I was hallucinating. Maybe somebody gave me something they shouldn't have given me, like and fuck with me. And I
Moldy
was just
bread
like not moldy bread. I don't
with
know.
some fungus that made you hallucinate.
Who knows? Who knows? But I've always had these, you know, I was terrorized by the thought of ghosts. Now, when I say ghosts, I myself had an experience of like eyes. And when I say eyes,
Like
like if you could imagine people
eyes?
staring at you, eyes, like your eye, like just multiple people staring at me. And it was a sensation of people
Wait,
staring at
were
me,
they
like
it was
floating
human
eyes,
eyes?
like
No, but
yes,
it was
like
human
eyes.
eyes.
No, yes, I can. If I close my eye and you imagine multiple eyes staring at you in like
Oh
space, that's what I feel. I can even see him now if I close my eyes and
my goodness.
imagine what it used to be like. And I don't know if it was like a childhood like imagination that I had that these things were following me, and I kept on it for the longest time. But it took me a really long time to kind of get rid of it. And when I say I get rid of it, I kind of accepted it. And so they're kind of like on the periphery. So it's not like I got
Okay.
rid of these things, but it doesn't bother me anymore.
So do
So
you still are you still able to see this if you unblock yourself, or you don't
sometimes
think?
I'm in places where I am like, I get chills and people don't understand. Like, I feel certain things, I get goosebumps, I have sensations, and and I can't really explain why. I was just like, what's going on? And, like, I could feel energies, I can feel like auras, or like there's a lot of
Uh,
points where I was able to do or feel a lot of those things, and maybe it was a lot of the drugs I was doing, but no, it is
well, I
kind
don't
of
think
like
you were as a toddler.
not as a toddler. Like, at those times, it was like, oh, it was sheer terror. And when I say sheer terror, I was like, there are times when I would just like cry for my mom and like be stuck to my bed, looking outward at something like hanging out in the hallway. Like, I could see something hanging out in the hallway. And I was scared that it would come and get me, or just, it was just like something looking at me. And even now, think about it, I'm
Ah,
like fucking scared that they think that this is what was following me around. And this is like before like the fifth sense and shit like that. I mean, this is like, it was no joke. I was like, I got like PTSD from that shit. And it's not,
fuck.
I don't know what it was, or but I did, like I said, I accepted it. There are times where you say, I know what it is. You can't hurt me. It's like you start talking in your mind, you start talking back to these things. And that's what I did as a kid, because yelling for my mom, she would come, there's nothing there. Let me give you some tea, drink this, drink that, go to sleep. There's nothing there, I promise you. And then it's
Oh,
like, oh, don't you see it? But I know it was there. And it's just like, I must have sounded like a fucking mad, mad little kid. And
I
and
wonder, like, if my son would have
I got
brought something
I got
up,
to
if I would believe him, you know? I'm scared that I wouldn't, and I feel so bad. Like, oh my God.
I want to say this though. At my mom's house, every family member that has ever stayed at my mom's house, um any family member, has been bothered by something, like something's not right in the house that I grew up in.
Fuck
So I
off.
think, no, and I swear, I don't think it
Shut
was
up.
just me. I'm not even kidding.
No
Even now,
mames.
I'm
So
not
if
even
I
kidding.
was to go, I would be bothered by
Yes, you would
something.
be. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it's still there. Whatever was
I
there,
don't
is
think
always
I
going to be there.
would. I think because I really,
We've gone as far as like bless the house and have priests like shake the spirits away, and I don't think any of that shit works for some of this stuff.
I don't,
I mean, I
I
think
don't
you got to
think that
have a really strong sense of feeling of like, okay, it's working, it worked, and it's over, but not at my mom's house. Like, whatever's there is there.
I
If
don't
you ever,
think I have
we're gonna go to my
the
mom's
cap.
house and we're gonna feel this feeling, because it's almost like a when I'm there by myself, I almost have a sense of dread. When I say a sense of even
Dread.
now, like, I'm scared to go into my mom's house and not finding her there, or like I need to run and turn on the lights. Even now as an adult, I want to turn on the lights of the house, and I just want to just like, you know, if I start thinking about it too much, I freak out.
But like,
I don't
okay,
know.
when you
Maybe
said
that's my own
dread,
fear.
what is
Dread,
the
like
dread
fear
of
of
what?
the entity or something being there still.
Oh, got
Fear.
it.
It's like I say, I got like PTSD from that house, maybe. And
Right.
now, if I go back there as an adult now, it's really like I'll go back there, and like I have the key to my mom's house. So if my mom's not there and I'm gonna go visit, I knock on the door, I'll come inside, check things out, make sure everything's okay. And then I know my mom's not there. It's just like, okay, I need to get the fuck out of here now. Like, I cannot do it. I cannot. It's like, and I've been there plenty of times, but it's just
Okay.
an eerie feeling. It's an eerie. I don't know what it is. You'll get to feel it one day. You'll see. You'll understand. And what I will say is that for sure there were a lot of
Oh
bad things that
man.
happened. My mom has apartments in the back, and I would say there was a couple of murders. This was now, these murders happened after the fact. There's like gunplay involved. So these murders happened after my me growing up as a teenager. So cut to I'm a teenager now, and these things happen because there was like a couple arguing, and the guy took out a pistol and shot his wife, and she passed away, in
Damn.
one of the park. And
No, shut the fuck up.
yes, she and that same apartment. Now this is really strange. That same apartment, I rented that same apartment when I was old, like when I was like 17, 18. I rented that same apartment when I was like trying to get out on my own, like poop, coming back. I went out on my own and then I came back. I'm like, I needed a place to stay. I stayed in apartment B when I was starting out.
Ooh,
And in
apartment B.
apartment B was even stranger because in apartment B, I would get like sleep paralysis. I would get these things where it stuck to my bed. I would dream that I was awake in my room, but I wasn't. It's the weirdest like dreaming I've ever had was in that apartment. And I try to fucking cleanse that motherfucking place. I saged that place. I dropped incense because I knew what happened there. Like, as an adult, like in my early 20s, I'm like,
Mm,
yeah, this is like freaky. Like, but it always happened.
oh my God.
And and I had a dog. His name was Sultan. I love my dog. He'd go everywhere. But you know what he would never do? He would never walk into that apartment. It didn't matter if I had food. He would just wait out the front door. He would refuse to walk into that apartment. I don't care
Shut
what I had. And
the
I fed my
fuck
dog all the time and we
up.
always ran
Oh
together
my
and everything. But
God.
he would never, he would, I'm not walking in that apartment. He would never walk into that apartment. That is crazy. I still remember now that I think
Shut
about it, he would
up.
never walk in
Okay.
that apartment. But that's just part of it. I think by that time too, I was like, I understood what was going on and it was okay. Even those like sleep paralysis, of course, that's just your breathing. I was like, oh, this is my health. It's just, but there's always something else. But like my dog, like what the fuck? Why won't my dog come in that apartment? What did my dog know that I didn't? And that was a
Yeah.
long time
Well,
ago.
okay.
Sounds a little
So
strange.
a lot of the times they say that actually you don't notice that you make these certain movements, and dogs are super perceptive of you. And so what basing their actions on is how they perceive your movements, your actions, your tension, because dogs are very keen to that type of thing. And so they're basing it off of you. I've
So you
heard
think
this.
you
So,
think
I
my
mean, I don't know
dog
how
was
correct
like,
it is, but
motherfucker, why are you so scared? Why you want me to come in an
reacting,
apartment? And he's like,
then
I don't know why
then
you're so scared about
fuck
that
no.
apartment. I'm not
It
coming in.
and like if you're scared, I ain't fucking coming in there. Fuck you. Mi
So
madre es
he
cabrón.
probably he felt my fear and is like, fuck that. I don't care if you got
Yes.
bologna, hot dogs, whatever, chicken. I ain't coming in that
Bitch, if you
apartment.
scared, I'm not coming in either.
I mean, I love my dog. And even at the time, like if it was raining or something, he wouldn't come in the fucking house. I would like come in to stay. Like I would talk to him, like, come in, stay here. And you know what? He'd go to my friend's house. If I walked in, he'd go into my friend's house in his garage, but he not that apartment. So, you know,
No,
it
but
was just
I
a weird
mean,
thing.
I have heard that's is the reason. I just okay, so I was listening to an audiobook because since I have to fucking commute, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. And the book is called The Gift of Fear. And the guy explains, and he has like his own business where he like he's kind of like a bodyguard type dude, but that, and he does like a lot of like protects a lot of celebrities that get like stalkers and shit. And so, and he just basically explains how you get the like hair raising thing when you walk by somebody. It's because you're perceiving things, but you yourself neglect it. Like, no, that can't be it, and you neglect your fear. And so that's why he said you should listen to your fear because there's something there that you should, whatever. Anyway,
Yeah, I
he
know. I
has this thing
know.
about dogs. And he has this thing about dogs, and he says it's not that the dog is perceiving something, it's that the dog is so in tune with your body movements, with your, if you tense, they can feel the tension. And so it's not that they're perceiving something, they're actually perceiving your movements. Sorry, it took
Mm.
me a minute to remember where the fuck I got the information from, but it just like trickled in right now.
That's all good.
So it's
No,
that.
for sure.
It's from that
But
book.
here's the thing. I know that like the whole thing about fear and like, I mean, I can imagine if you're a bodyguard and you're like always on the lookout, and if your body says like something's not right, it's because you see somebody else's body language like coming in, so you sense that. It's like the sixth sense
Yes,
of like
yes.
bodyguards. You know, it's
You
just
have
like
to become like a
automatic. You see
focused
the body
dog.
language, and then you're like, okay,
Woof,
to
woof.
protect something. Woof woof. However, that's another person, motherfucker. What I'm talking about is something I can't see.
Yeah,
So my perception is
right.
like, but I understand that like,
On the
you know,
supernatural.
it's not gonna hurt me.
And and
I mean, it's
and
gonna
then and
scare me,
see
but
and
it's
that's
not gonna like, it's not gonna like, well, you know what? This is
and
a funny thing
I
because tell me something. Um, and maybe some other people have had the same experience. Now, I was half asleep and I burned my arm like 2 weeks ago. As you know, I got in a fight with a tea kettle, right?
oh, the tea
But
kettle
I was,
situation.
yeah, and the chicken episode. So, but there's something in the back of
Chickenosaurus.
my mind. Now, tell me if this is an evil spirit or not. And tell me if anybody else has had experiences like this, and maybe you have. I know in hindsight, I could have used my right arm, but something was telling me to put my arm over the steam as if to tempt myself to see if I would get burned and to tempt myself to try to do it and see if I could do it. And a lot of times it's just like if I have a brand new shirt or a jacket and I'm walking and I see like a nail or something sticking out, and I know it's like, oh, I don't want to fuck up my shit. I want to, you know what my ass does? I get closer to that motherfucker, see if I can just like skirt along it. See, but I do it instinctively. And this is the
Maybe you
kind of
have an
feeling,
impulse disorder.
yes, it's just like heights. It's just like if I'm up really high, I get really scared. Like this, the fear of heights. I get like vertigo, but not really.
Oh
And
yeah.
I get scared.
Mhm.
But then something says, get closer, get closer, get closer, get closer to the edge, get closer to the edge. It's almost like something wants me to jump. I don't want to jump, but something's telling me like, go as far as you can. So I'm wondering
You
if
know,
that's like some
someone
evil
who
spirit telling me
no,
like,
someone
do
my
this, do
mom
that.
described exactly this. What did you just said right now? My mom described that exact same thing about edges. She's afraid of heights as well, and she has that fear. Me, I have like fear of driving in the overpasses because I feel like I'm gonna just drive off like boop, and I'm like
I have the
so I'm
same
like,
fear.
and I'm super
Yeah.
like like cautious to stay, and I slow down and I make people angry behind me, but I'm just like I need to stay within the lanes.
Oh. And I'm not saying I'm a
But
medium or like I'm not claiming to be a psychic. I'm not, just so everybody knows, I'm not saying I'm any of that. What I'm saying is I have these feelings. And I mean
I
maybe
think you have an
everybody has
I
these
think
feelings.
I think you're an empath. I don't have those feelings at all. Like never had.
But there are people that do. I think there's people that
Yeah,
do. And
no, I
if
don't
you're one of
doubt
those
that
people,
you
you just have these
I
feelings and
don't
they're
doubt
strong
that you do.
feelings.
I'm just saying that there's certain people that don't. Like, for example, me.
I mean,
However,
how I say that, what I say is that like I'm not afraid of being scared like at a movie. I'm not afraid of being scared like when I go to a horror movie or like there's like scare things, but the things that really fuck with me the most are like the things that are to do with the spiritual realm and ghosts and things that come back or things that can manifest into other things because it just feels too close to my own personal experience. Like,
right. And and for me,
founds, murderers, whatever. Okay, yeah, I can deal with that. A thriller, I can deal
okay,
with that. But fuck with a ghost or something I can't control. Uh-uh. I'm I'm
so for
I'm not
me,
there.
I am the opposite, exact the opposite. So the town that I moved to now, I actually lived here when I first moved to the US. So I was like in junior high. And I would hang out at the cemetery across the street from my junior high because it was the most peaceful place I could be. I There
Wait, is
was
it
no
that long
people. There
cemetery?
was
Yeah.
there's no people who can hurt me because in my logic, dude, cemetery, everybody's fucking dead. Who's gonna fucking injure me? Exactly, nobody, because y'all are dead. So for me, my escape was cemeteries because they're just empty. They're dead. Nobody here is alive to hurt
Oh,
somebody. They can't get up and stab me. You know what I mean? I can't get robbed, pocket checked, or whatever. Whatever other hood
well,
things happen to you in the
do
hood.
you do you remember your grandfather's story about I don't know if I should bring this up, but remember the story when he was playing poker by like the cemetery or like I guess Lala's grandfather was around when there was like a lot of war and destruction in Mexico.
Oh yeah.
And so it was normal to find bodies and skulls and things laying about at that time.
That
And he
he lived
said
through
when
the
he was
fucking war. That's some crazy shit.
yeah, so he said that one time he was playing poker by a cemetery with some friends in a clearing and that everybody was playing and they were playing and then some guy just rolled up just kind of looking and staring and just like kind of hanging out and then he left and he walked into a pathway. When everybody looked, this guy was walking into a pathway where there wasn't a pathway, like there is no trail going that way. And then everybody's asking, so was that your friend? No, that wasn't your friend. Was that your friend? No. Who knows that guy? Who the fuck was that? And then none of your none of your, nobody knew who this guy was. And so everybody's like, well, who the fuck is he? He walked that way. Well, there's no road going that way. And they all walked to go to see where this road ended, and they went into nothing. It went into like a thick forest of nothing. And then they all realized it might have been like a
Dude,
spirit or something. That freaked
my
me out.
grandfather has some crazy stories.
But I'm thinking, yeah, it's just like somebody just wanted to hang out, relive like a poker game or something.
I
And it's
mean,
just like,
maybe
ah,
I
okay,
have
I'm going.
experienced something like that, but I just never noticed that it was a spirit. I just thought like, oh, cool, whatever. But I really
How,
don't think that I I okay, so what I have experienced, and this is totally different, is I have prophetic dreams. All right, everyone, don't think I'm
dear
crazy.
diary. And then the ghost invaded her dreams to give her these dreams. And then we're going to hear about it.
So
Tell us about these dreams.
I have dreams like, for example, where I dream I'm gonna win this raffle, and then there's this one time I won a computer, my son's first computer. I had a dream about it. And then he was at the Boys and Girls Clubs, in Echo Park. And whatever, the day arrives, and then I show up, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna have the raffle for the computer." And then I was like, "Oh fuck, I forgot my $5." Okay, it was $5. And I literally lived in the alleyway behind the fucking Boys and Girls Club. Like I could just run through the alley and go to my house. So I went home, pick up the $5 because in my dream I dreamt how I was already gonna jump up, exactly what I said, how they call my name, everything so specific. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna win this shit. And I was so like I was like there was no like doubt at all. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta go get it because I'm gonna win this shit. So literally I went home, picked up the $5, came back to the Boys and Girls Club, turned it in, and then literally it happened verbatim how it happened in my dream.
So Lala has premonitions, which
Oh, is
is
that what
kind
that
of
is?
another, yeah, it's a premonition. Yeah. I have those too. It's just not that close together. Not
Oh, I
like
have
it
them
happens
all the
like a long
fucking
time and I'm
time.
like, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Or it's like deja vu. Do you ever have deja vu? Goes
Mm-hmm.
like, oh yeah, I remember.
Oh,
Yeah,
all the fucking time. All
yeah,
the fucking time. But that's
yeah.
what reminds me that I have to do something. And I'm like, oh, right, I had this dream. So I have to do this in order for it to go in that direction. So, so I mean, I don't know if
Wow.
that's fits in with ghosts or
I
what
think it's kind of
how
tied into this spiritual clairvoyance kind of premonition. I wonder what that is. I wonder
So
what does
maybe
the
I'm just
Wikipedia say?
sensitive in this different way, and you're sensitive in this other way. They're both spiritual, but in very different ways. I don't think that I can communicate or feel other people that are dead or whatever, spirits, etc. However, I can pick up vibes from people if they're like not good people or whatever. But I think that just has to do with like what I was talking about that says the gift of fear.
The gift of fear. I'm scared of a lot of things. I'm glad to be scared. I'm happy to be. I think a healthy amount of fear keeps everybody alive.
No, and that's exactly what he
Right?
explains in his book,
Hmm,
precisely.
hmm.
Hmm. Because
Like
it gives you like
you
like
see a clown
lions
walking
have
2 blocks away, walk to the other side. That's that healthy fear. Don't confront that clown. That's not what you want to do. Yeah.
exactly, precisely.
I mean, premonitions and ghosts and things. I mean, I know Halloween's just passed, but that's just like the Latino community has all their things and they're like really they have a lot they have a lot of like folky kind of urban
Hmm.
myths and legends that kind of that keep
Yes. Oh my
lingering
God.
without a doubt. Like we have La
So
Llorona.
many.
I mean, like, and that's rooted in a real like a real story in history, of what
Is it
actually happened
real?
to somebody. Yeah, no,
I thought
that's
it was
real.
just an urban story. Hmm.
No, it's rooted in reality. Oh man, you didn't know this? Llorona history.
Okay, folks, and let me just tell you that when we were talking about making this podcast, we kind of wanted to make this podcast a place where we can talk about these urban stories. Because we grew up, he and I, we grew up in hoods. I'm not sure if you guys know what hoods are, but it's just not like it's where a lot of shit happens,
There's a
not
lot of shit that goes
positive,
down.
not positive usually. And so I'm like, how many podcasts are there where people share stories like he just said, some people got shot in his mother's apartment. But this for us, and it not to say it's normal, but I've seen that a lot. Like I've, lived through some drive-bys and shit, like a lot and get pocket checked and pocket check is, the neighborhood gang members just come and check what's in your pocket. And if it's something of interest, they take it on your way home from school. And so it's just
That's
like it's
horrible.
just things that you go through. But like originally, like this is kind of what I wanted. I wanted this platform to be like a place where people share those stories because there's not a lot of podcasts that have like a platform for people to. So I kind of wanted to make this little thing of like, hey, if you guys have a fucking an urban story, send it to us, like we would love to hear it because like it's the same shit that we've lived through. Probably not, or because everybody's an individual and they have their own experiences. But I kind of wanted this platform to be somewhere where urban kids and people who grew up like that can share.
This is La Llorona is kind of like a horrible thing. I know it's used to scare kids so they can like put them in their place, but I'm just looking at some of the origins, and this is what I was talking about. It's rooted in like the conquistadors that came to Mexico and fuck with indigenous women. So one of the stories, I'm not saying it is the story, but one of the stories is that one of the conquistadors had kids with indigenous women and he abandoned her. So the woman killed her kids. and then we wept.
Ugh, me dio
So I
escalofrío,
mean,
güey.
yeah, I know, but like the whole idea of this, like we
Ugh.
think that all these myths are rooted in like facts and reality. There's like some
Bro,
truth to these things
just
that kind of,
because your baby daddy
yeah.
abandoned you, you don't drown your kids. Like, I didn't
Well,
drown my kid.
let's think about like
I mean, if that's the moral
in
of the story, you know what I mean? Like,
if you
yo,
think about the
bro.
time of like the conquistadors like fucking slaughtering Indians across Mexico, like
That's
fucking
true.
with people,
Yeah,
and
that's
then you
pretty
hold her
brutal.
kids and then you're left with this like these kids of this Spanish
I'm
conquistador that fucking
I'm
left.
thinking
Oh my
this
God.
conquistador fucking raped her, and that's why she drowned her kids. That makes more sense to me. Because if some
But
motherfucker raped me,
it's
then
like
I have to have a
right.
baby, and there's no abortions back then. Then
Think
I
about
would probably drown that
the
baby.
conflict you have within your own community because one, you love your kids. It's still your fucking baby.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it's your
matter
body. Yeah.
your baby, but then
They grew in your
your
stomach,
community.
literally like a
Yeah,
fucking alien. It's gross. It's fucking
but
gross. That's why I only
then
had one kid.
these guys leave, and then your community is like fucking. That's a motherfucking conquistador. You know, you're ostracized because that's a conquistador baby.
Yes. Oh my
So
God.
you're
And
like nobody wants to talk to you.
I'm assuming in those times, like it was like that because now you got some blonde baby, which actually that's actually my kid. Like my kid is fucking blonde as fuck and like it's
It's just
like
not like
wait, are you
kids don't look
sure
like everybody
that's
else.
the right time? No, but
Are
it's
you
cute,
sure?
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
La
yeah. No,
Llorona.
it would make more sense if she was raped and then she drowned her kids
Well, I mean,
because of that.
that's just that makes more sense. I mean, I think this is kind of
In my
washing this
head, it
over.
makes more sense.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
one
go
day
with that
I we need to
version.
like
I'm
really get
creating my
into
own
this.
goddamn urban story. Fuck that.
She was raped by
I'm
this
gonna amend it.
conquistador.
I'm gonna amend the story, add that that bitch was raped, and
You
say
know what?
that's
You're
why,
probably not too far off from that. That probably happened in Peru, Mexico, in the Caribbean,
Oh yeah,
in the that
dude,
shit. You
all
know,
over, all over, all over. So yeah, no, I'm going with that version. Sorry.
did you ever see John Leguizamo's like Latin history, his show on? Oh, you would know. Oh, we got to
Not
watch
that I
this. We'll watch it
recall.
together. We got to watch this. You watched it. I saw it live. I saw him do this thing live, but I'm sure it's out
I
there
love
recorded.
John Leguizamo. He's
Yeah,
so
he's really
cool.
funny.
Wait, so what did he what was it like on a show or it was just like a
Yeah,
live
he did a
performance
live
or
theater performance, but I think it you can actually watch this if you haven't watched it already.
I'm gonna
Um,
Google this because I'm very
Latin
interested in this.
history. Yeah, John Leguizamo's Latin history for morons. It's on Netflix, girl. This is
Then I probably did see
I'm gonna
Latin
give
history
Lala
for
homework.
morons.
I'm gonna give Lala
Word. No
homework to do.
mames. No
I'm
mames. How
gonna
did
give you
I
some
not wait?
homework to do. Yes,
Okay,
yes, you're
but
watching it.
also, I might have watched it, but I have like I forget everything.
I
So I probably
guess.
need to refresh it. I don't know. As at the moment, I don't think I've seen it, but once I see it, I'll let you know if I have seen it before or not. It's just that I have like really terrible memory and like I forget shit, and then at the most randomest of moments, I'll remember something you asked me like 3 weeks ago, and then I'm like, oh, it's this answer. It's called You Smoked One Too Many Doobies.
One too many. Not, no, I'm not gonna worry about that. Oh my stars.
Well, everyone, this is where we must end this episode. But thank you so much for listening to us. Once again, I'm Lala.
And I'm Richmo.
And you can follow us
On the website at whathappened.com and visit our for more about us and our bios and for more information on our upcoming shows. And we're going to try to
Yes,
put these
and
out.
please do come back. We really want you to come back because without you, we are just not a podcast.
If you want us to read your story, email us and we'll look it over. If it's fascinating and you don't mind, well, share you with us. You're sharing you with us.
And what happened to you?
What happened to you can share with us.
With the rest of the ether world who is also listening to us.
All right, folks. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next time. And,
Yeah.
we'll see you
And come back to what happened.
Bye-bye.
Bye.